Happy holidays, folks. Welcome to our final City Council recap of 2025.
Woo!
I am joined today by Jason.
Hello. Happy holidays.
It's me, Garrett. You know me. If you don't, here I am. And today we're going to be going through the orders and actions taken in the City Council meeting on the 16th, December 16th, 2025. These meetings tend to be very, very long. And so we come together and we sit down and we talk about the points, podcast style, very quick. Try to get it 30 minutes or under, just to give you, the community, a good idea of things to pay attention to and, what we think as community members as well. We are not experts. We will get things wrong. I'm going to have a ton of questions, and that's okay. We're all here learning together. And if you would like to join us at any point, please send us an email at KGEM-TV@gmail.com, and we'll put you in touch with us so we can figure out how to get you in one of these seats.
Plenty of space at the table.
Plenty, literally so much space. And I'm very, very happy with the refurb that's been happening. Yes.
KGEM has some updates.
Yes.
So I'm happy to be here.
Mm-hmm. So come on and join us. But let's kick things off for this specific meeting. I'm going to be calling out times on my little document here that I'm reading. These times refer to timestamps on a YouTube live stream. In the description of this video, there will be a link to the actual full-length live stream of the City Council meeting. If I say a time, it's like this is where that action is and where you want to hone in on to see what it is that we're talking about. So if you're like, I don't really know, then just go to the link below, check out the timestamp, and you'll get all the details. Okay?
There we go.
Mm-hmm. All right, so our Pledge of Allegiance was led by Mr. Spicer, and then we had invocation by Reverend Neil Tadkin. They took roll call, and all of our city council was in attendance, including our city manager and our city attorney. Then at 7 minutes and 41 seconds, we moved into our proclamations of the month. We had PR1, which was the council's and the city staff's ugly sweater contest.
I don't know if there was a whole bunch of really, really ugly ones.
Yeah.
There were some a little bit elaborate. Yeah.
People throw on a sweater and I'm like, no, it's gotta be bad.
That's not ugly. That's nice looking.
It's gotta be bad. Yeah, it's gotta be bad.
It came down to a couple sweaters and council member Larry Spicer, I think, deserved to win.
Yeah, because he had like the full pajama set.
Yeah.
And it had his name on it. Go check it out, please. At 7 minutes, 41 seconds. Please go check it out. It's incredible. Then we had PR2, which was, this is a returning thing. It comes pretty often, which is Pasadena Humane Society's Pet of the Month.
Beautiful German
Shepherd
named Saint, appropriately named Saint for this time of year.
Yeah.
Still available. He's been there, super friendly, kind, plays well with others, and is available still to adopt at Pasadena Humane Society, as well are many other animals that need homes.
In fact, if you're interested in picking up a critter this holiday season, you can go to their Home for the Holidays promotion, in which you get free adoption until the 30th for, I believe, larger dogs like Saint and cats.
Yep.
Go check that out on their website or go visit them in Pasadena. PR3, we moved on to Holiday Decorating Contest Home and the Myrtle Windows, so the Old Town Windows decorating contest. We had decorating contests for houses as well as storefront windows, and they went over all of the award-winning contestants that day. Some of them are really, really cool. I thought it was cool that they went out and they took like pictures of what the houses look like at night. They had awards like the Neighborhood Effort, which I believe Valmont won, and they're always doing
every year.
Yeah.
You can go to this. You can check the city manager's weekly update, or you can go to the actual city's website to actually see pictures, and you can actually take a map print out a map, and then you can drive around town and see them for yourself. So
Yeah. Be sure to do that. Get family in the car. Drive safe. Don't be annoying. You know, not that that's our mission, but
my kids used to like to do that. When I offered for them to do it this year, they said, "No, it's okay."
Aw.
Yeah, that's what happens. Teenagers.
They grow up and they're like, "That's lame."
Yep.
Oh, they'll miss it one day. All right. After our public proclamations, my bad. We moved into our consent calendar. Jason.
Consent calendar is just items that are regular city business that occur on a regular basis, that they're all lumped together, and the council takes all of the different issues together with one vote. There were 21 different items that were on the consent calendar. 2 of them got pulled, but the rest of the or 2 of them got pulled and then addressed afterwards. Actually, 1 got postponed to another, to a future meeting, and then CC9, which we'll talk about in a second, got pulled and was discussed individually. But the remaining items on the consent calendar were unanimously approved.
Yeah.
And then the only one that wasn't, that was pulled and discussed was CC9, which is a reimbursement agreement with Monrovia Unified School District related to the swimming pool project repair at Monrovia High School. For those of you who don't know, the LA County shut down the use of Monrovia High School's pool before the year even started, and our aquatic teams have had to utilize surrounding aquatic facilities just because it just wasn't safe. So there's been ongoing discussion with both the city as well as the school board to figure out how to address that, whether it's new construction. And it's just important to get our athletes back in the pool. So the city is offering $210,000 to assist in the. I think it's closer to $400,000 for the repair of the pool, and so that was pulled, and it was discussed, and it was one of the interesting things is that part of the agreement is that the Monrovia Unified allowed all of the school campuses to be open during non-school hours. In the past, many of the schools are closed off, that you can't use the city facilities, the school's facilities, the playgrounds, the fields, and as part of this agreement, they're allowing to do that. So that's great. We had community member Karen DeClue, who has been very, very active along with a whole bunch of other members in the community, really lobbying and rallying around the support of getting the pool back and working. She was super excited, wanted to say thank you, and was hoping that in future that the pool, the Monrovia High School's pool, will be more available to the public, and especially in the summer months when we can splish splash, because it used to be that way.
Yeah,
it used to be that way until 2021.
Essentially, there's the thing that I think brings the city involved. It's like, okay, well, this is a school issue. Is that because the city can then say, oh, there's a pool that we can host aquatic programs, and that's something like not just school activities for our student athletes, but for, like you said, the public. This is a place, because currently we've been sending our students to go practice in other schools' pools, which obviously is costing the school district some money. That's an issue for another day, but the point being, everyone wins if we unite on this. So yes,
pool's getting repaired. It'll be back and ready to go in a couple months, and so that'll be exciting for the whole community.
Yep.
Other than that, nothing else. There was some conventional grammar stuff that needed to be fixed with one of the items, and then I'll get pulled back later.
Yeah, so we'll see that again.
So then after that, it was public input, and we had 4 different people. Came up and talked.
31 minutes. You can check out the public input. That is your chance as a community member to go and address the city council. It's not a talk back. You're not entitled to a response, but they will hear you. They give you 3 minutes. Prepare something, ideally. Submit a speaker card, and they can talk to you. Very often, our superstar city manager, Dylan Feek, will try to network you. Get
if it requires some additional information, they'll gather that information and then make sure that it's followed up on.
So Sherry Lautner returned to continue to advocate for our day laborers and our victims of the ICE operations that have been occurring within LA County, as well as California and our nation.
Yeah,
abroad.
she and some other community members are really advocating for a permanent memorial for Roberto Montoya, who lost his life trying to flee ICE at Home Depot.
Yeah.
So that was there. Martha Mack also talked about, shared some similar concerns. Shared a lot of names of the people that have died in ICE facilities, just to sell, a point.
Yeah. Next, we had Chavis Harris, who is a small business owner and operator in Monrovia who drives a large commercial truck, and he's been looking for a place to park his truck without getting cited. And this is a very interesting thing he brought up. Was he was saying, from his perspective, it seems as though he's routinely getting tickets, and that peers that, maybe not people he knows directly, but other people that park
other box trucks
are not getting tickets. So my mind, I went, okay, maybe they have a permit that he doesn't have, but he's like, I'm not hearing about that need.
But it was nice as the city manager immediately put him in contact with the police officer to get more information.
Yeah, Willoughby. Yeah. They went and talked about it. So that's cool. Again, definitely a bonus of showing up.
Yeah.
You might not necessarily get what you need, but you'll at least get someone to say, hey, let's get you some help.
Yep.
And I love that.
Yep.
And then finally, we had Mr. JT Nelson, who returned, and he was just listing some grievances involving community media of the foothills. And then, that was public comment. And then we had, at 48 minutes, we moved into two public hearings, and they both had to do with applications for mills contracts, which is about designating certain homes and spaces as historic landmarks. Jason, do you know anything?
Yeah, so I mean, in the city of Monrovia, we have some historical districts and many of our, historical homes. And so if you can apply, and there are a lot of regulations on what the front of your house has to look like, including the windows and the paint and the structures, and to maintain the historical significance. And you get some tax benefits from that. And so we had two Mills Acts. Both of them passed. We had a property located on Greystone for Dominic and Kathleen Bianco. And then also my good friends Kurt and Sonia Lugenbuehl, their home on Encinitas was also granted Mills Act status. So congratulations to both of those homes and those families. Just keep Monrovia looking historical.
Yes, it's a very good effort, and I definitely appreciate it. Because homes are beautiful, very nice homes. Yeah. Then we moved into the reports of our city manager, our staff, and our city council. So at an hour and 3 minutes, first up is the city manager and his team. He sort of just clarified some things that were brought up during public comment, and just how transparent the city has been about its dealings in investigations, audits, stuff like that. And that, if you have any concerns, please reach out. And so there's that. Then we went into our reports of our city councils, starting with Mr. Belden. He was excited, of course, for our pool repair and the refurb. I think it was cool to see, as we're talking about the historic houses, the kind of before and after.
Yeah.
And just how similar people are keeping at least the facades of the house to how they were back in the day. Yeah. That was cool. The parade was a big success. He was very happy with that.
He also talked about the importance of getting the school district and the city to continue to collaborate some more. And being really excited about that.
Me too.
You want me to go on to some?
Go for it. Yeah.
So Dr. Tamala Kelly talked about the work that she's been doing with the housing and community development. She's participating for the LA Olympics committee to try to work to help Monrovia benefit from all the people that will be coming into our area. She encouraged people to support local businesses during this holiday season. She talked about being able to see the Citrus College singers at the Kiwanis meeting. Council member Sergio Jimenez Talked about the toy drive that was with Monrovia Police Department and local businesses. He talked about what a great luncheon there were to celebrate the work of the volunteer trail crew for our mountains. Also talked about the parade and how nice that was, and just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Council member Larry Spicer. Wanted everybody to remember that the winter, the recreation guide for the winter schedule is out.
Yes.
So you should have received that actually in your mailbox. But you can also pick those up at the community center, the city at City Hall, or you can just log on to the City of Monrovia's website and you can see a digital version of it. It lists all the different classes that are available in the schedules and all those things. And there's some really there's some great things that our city provides.
Yeah.
So he talked about that. He wanted to also be really gracious in thanking the city staff and the public in this time of the season.
Yeah, he wrote.
That was really nice.
He wrote a long thing. The city council comes up. They make the decisions in many ways, but those decisions are not informed without the hard work of our city staff and how interesting they'll get into things, and we'll get to that later on the AR reports. Mayor Shevlin, her report was talking about, again, the success of the parade. There were about 2,500 holiday parade participants. She reported on the success of the Monrovia Guild for Children's Hospitals toy drive. We were unable to get a quote that we wanted on the hydrogen fuel cell buses for Foothill Transit, but we're not giving up on it. She wanted to stress that we currently still have the CNG cars. Buses, I should say, but that the electric is definitely within our sights, because I know a lot of cities around use completely electric cars. She, of course, serves as our LA County Exec Committee, like a representative on the LA County Executive Committee Regional Houselessness Alignment, and she said that there was an incredibly very technical conversation about stuff that's to come, and that you should reach out to her to kind of hear about that. She said it was very, very interesting. So I just wanted to pass that along. I know there's not something that I can elaborate on, but I just think if you want elaboration, please reach out to the mayor's office. She talked about a successful Festival of the Trees to benefit the Boys and Girls Club,
and what a lovely lunch there was for our seniors. Talked about the KGEM open house.
The open house.
That occurred on Monday?
It was Monday night.
Monday night. And everybody got to see kind of the new digs, the new front lobby, and then the new studio kind of setup we have here. And then she also ended by talking about some New Year's activities, the Noon Year's Eve.
Yes.
Which is...
This is important to clarify. It used to be only the New Year's Eve just come out at night on the 31st. Now it's on the 31st, there's a 10 a.m. park day, and that's to accommodate people that couldn't make it at night, because maybe they're
and kids.
And kids, of course. So in years past, they only had one. Now they have both. So you can do noon N-O-O-N, Noon Year's Eve, and New Year's Eve, of course. So both are happening.
So check that out. Lots of stuff happening over the next week or so, or week plus, 2 weeks actually, around the city. That was it for reports, right?
That was it for them. Then we moved into our administration reports, stuff that the city staff brings to the council to either make decisions on, pass. And it's very self-explanatory when you watch it, but these tend to be the long presentations, so buckle in. An hour and 21 minutes is when this all kicks off. The first thing that they talked about, very, very interesting to me as a history teacher, I'm like, was the repeal of a past city council resolution from the 40s, that it was a resolution of that city council at the time that supported the internment of Japanese American citizens. When I lived here, I grew up across the street from two elderly Japanese, the couple that they had been interned. And I did a whole report on that. And it's very, very fascinating, because Dylan went and he presented these resolutions, and he was having us look at the the flavor of the text, like specifically, was very much not only like we support it, but we don't want them to come back, which is very scary. And the reason that, I know this is not great to think about, but the reason it came up was because we've been working on the Satoru Tsunishi Park that's going to open soon. And it's very cool to see, just, it feels cathartic that history is like doing something positive. We found this dark thing, but it's because we are now trying to honor and uplift the lives of Japanese Americans and how important they were to our community, and still are important.
Hugely important to our city and its development. So, so both of those got unanimously repealed. Yep. So they're no longer there.
They announced the ribbon cutting for the park.
Oh,
yeah, the ribbon cutting for the park will be Tuesday, January 13th, 2026 at 3 p.m. The park is going to be located just like behind the...
It's behind where the new Chick-fil-A and Starbucks,
yeah.
right by Huntington and the 210 freeway.
And they haven't shown too many photos because they want it to be a big surprise. So
yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Be there.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful.
Nice. AR2 was the reimbursement of MOPEGs, so Monrovia Historical Preservation Group's application to register Old Town and just like a region within Old Town as a district for the National Registry of Historic Places. That one was a bit complicated, but one thing that's really interesting is it does allow, if this works, that those proprietors are eligible to apply for federal grants in aid for the preservation. So it is a source of revenue, essentially.
And tax credits.
Yes.
And tax credits,
which is great.
Yep.
So you can watch there to see.
They have some maps that you could actually see. And it's not just the downtown Myrtle Street. It's the surrounding businesses around. And you can see that. There's more information to see that.
AR3, this was pretty by the numbers. We were updating our building codes at just pretty much any code.
Yeah.
Plumbing codes, energy, mechanical, fire, residential, like.
Has to be done every 3 years.
Yes.
So this is a routine, updating. We got a little insight into all of the different permits and applications, and we literally saw pictures of all the things that they're working on and the live things.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. There's like
the big pile of
there's like 17,000 different it wasn't permits. It was 17,000 different inspections that the city has done in 2025, and 1,500 different permits that were actually given. So busy department over there, and we thank them for their continued hard work.
Yes. Moving on to AR4, we are now talking about a purchase agreement with ING relating to a solar energy storage project at the Mountain Avenue Reservoir, which is the city's like second biggest like source of emergency power if something bad were to happen. And it's essentially going to be, the idea is to get a big discount away from what Edison charges us to do it on our own. So it's essentially saying, hey, ING, you do this contract with us for our, we RFP for you, and then you go and you manage the site.
So it's a big solar field.
Yes.
Yeah.
So lease it.
So those of you, basically right across the street from the Boys and Girls Club where Lemon and Mountain join, you can see there's a big structure, but you really can't see it. So it's a reservoir that has a roof on it. And so that's going to contain, there's some maps and stuff that was in the presentation. So you will not be able to see any of it from the street. There's nothing that is going to be an eyesore, but it's going to generate 645 kilowatts of, it's a lot of energy that will, ultimately benefit the city and our residents.
Yeah. So that was that. And then we finished our administrative reports. And then this was curious, but it was, I think, by the numbers, at 2 hours and 26 seconds, 2 hours and 26 minutes, you can check out, they didn't adjourn the council meeting, but they started a Monrovia Housing Authority meeting, since everyone is in that authority is there and present. They went through their consent calendar, and they, kind of like the previous consent calendar for the city council, They approved it. It had to do with just, approving the previous meeting's minutes, and then receiving and filing an independent audit for their prior fiscal year. You can find all those details on the agenda, on the city council agenda on the city's website. Then they moved into another meeting within a meeting, as you put, for, what is it,
the successor agency. I know it might not be the actual thing, but it was just a quick thing. And they just approved the minutes from the last meeting. So, but they just do that because everybody's there.
You have to
get it done during that time.
Yeah. Otherwise, everyone would be meeting every day. So, and then that wrapped up our meeting at 10:05 p.m. Clocked into what was probably just a, just over 2.5 hour meeting. Yep. And we've condensed it in about, roughly 30 minutes here.
The last thing that they mentioned was they're out in front of Jake's in downtown Monrovia. There's a Light Up Monrovia to celebrate Hanukkah, but also in support of the many citizens in Australia that lost their lives as a result of some racism.
Hate.
Racism and hate.
Not good.
So that's going to be December 20th, I think. Was it December 20th?
December 20th.
6:30 out in front of Jake's.
In front of Jake's.
And then also, finally, the next council meeting is not until the new year, and it's not until actually January 20th at 7:30 p.m. And we'll likely be here after that to recap some of it. Yeah.
Any last thoughts, Jason?
Well, I hope you have a lovely holiday with friends, family, and to all of you out there. We're lucky to live in this beautiful city of ours, and we hope that you and your loved ones are safe.
Yes, please be safe. Please be happy, and just be patient with each other during this time. It can be stressful. It can be, a lot, but just take the time to enjoy your community. Count your stars. We are in a very lucky and nice community for the most part, and just be safe out there, everyone.
Check in on loved ones. Even though those that we know that aren't present with us, it's always good to check in on them. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.